I took the job when I was 23. Overnight security at a chemical plant out past the river. It sounded boring. And it was, mostly. 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., 5 nights or so a week. The plant shuts down at night. No workers, no lights except emergency ones. And the whole place is fenced in with keycard gates and badge readers on every building. My job was to walk the perimeter, scan checkpoints on a little device, and make sure nobody got in. There's this one tower, 7 stories tall, that I had to check twice a night. I'd ride the service elevator up, scan the sensor on the 7th floor balcony, and ride back down. That's it. No windows up there. Just concrete walls, silence, and the hum of old systems that never really turn off. I didn't mind the quiet. I liked being alone. It was about 3 weeks into the job when I saw it. Same routine. Scan the outer perimeter, check building C, then head to the tower. I took the service elevator up. Just like always. The 7th floor is dead quiet. No windows, just a little hallway that wraps around a big tank or pipe system in the center. I stepped out of the elevator and turned left toward the scan point. And that's when I saw it. Just for a second. The back half of a dog. Big. Black. Its tail swayed once, and then it turned the corner out of sight. It didn't run. It didn't seem startled. It just walked past. I stood there blinking, trying to make sense of what I saw. A dog? On the 7th floor? In a sealed building? I waited, listening. Nothing. No claws on concrete, no panting, nothing. I scanned my checkpoint and left without finishing the loop. I told myself it had to be a trick of the light. Maybe a shadow. Maybe I was just tired. But I pressed that elevator button a little faster than usual. The next day I mentioned it to my supervisor, half joking. Could have sworn I saw a dog in the tower last night, I said, laughing a little. He just looked up from his clipboard. Dog? Yeah, like a big black lab or something, on the 7th floor. He raised an eyebrow. Maybe it got in before we locked up. I didn't argue, but that wasn't possible. You need a badge to get through the fence, another to enter the building, and another for the elevator. And even if a dog slipped in during the day, how the hell would it get to the 7th floor? Still, he made a note and said, "Keep an eye out. Let me know if you see it again." That was it. Back to routine. But I started dreading the tower. A few nights later, it happened again. Same route, same elevator, same floor. The doors opened, and I stepped out slowly this time. I didn't hear anything, but I didn't expect to. That floor always felt like it swallowed sound. I walked the hallway, flashlight in hand. As I rounded the bend near the balcony door, I saw it again. This time it wasn't just the back half. It was standing farther down the hall in the shadows, a big black silhouette. Still, facing the wall. No movement, no sound. Just the shape of it. Too solid to be a shadow, too still to be alive. I blinked, and it was gone. Just empty hallway. I didn't scan that checkpoint. I turned around and went straight back to the elevator, wrote it down with my eyes on the floor, didn't tell anyone this time. It happened almost every night. Enough that I stopped thinking it was random. Always around 3:12 a.m. Didn't matter if I changed my route or took a break earlier. Every time I stepped off that elevator after 3:10, I'd catch something. Movement, a shape, just the sound of something too big to be a rat slipping out of view. The worst night? I was feeling bold. I left my flashlight off to let my eyes adjust. Figured I'd try to catch it before it moved. I crept past the central pipes, slow as I could. I could hear something. Not footsteps. Not exactly. It was a steady, rhythmic sound, like someone exhaling through their nose. Low and even. I edged around the tank and aimed my flashlight. Nothing. Just the bare hallway. Empty. But when I scanned the checkpoint and turned to leave, I noticed something on the floor. 3 coarse, black hairs, thick as wires, curled near the base of the wall. I crouched down to look closer, but when I reached for them, my radio let out a burst of static. I jerked back. When I looked again, the hairs were gone. I checked the tower's security feed the next morning. The time block from 3:08 to 3:19. Corrupted. Camera off. Offline. I brought it up again. Not the breathing or the camera feed. That sounds crazy out loud. I just mentioned seeing the dog again. Said I'd spotted it a few more times now, always around the same time. My supervisor barely looked up. "If it's still in there, it'll starve eventually," he said. "You want me to call animal control to the 7th floor?" He laughed like it was a joke. I didn't. I mentioned the corrupted footage. He said the system had been acting up anyway. "Budget cuts," he added. Like that explained everything. Next night, someone else was assigned the tower run, just for 1 rotation. They swapped me out without saying why. I asked the other guy afterward casually, "See anything weird up there?" He didn't even look at me when he said, "Nope." Then he asked to switch back to perimeter duty. No one else brought it up again, not him, not the supervisor, not anyone. But I got the tower back the next night. And at 3:12 a.m., the elevator doors opened on the 7th floor. I knew it would be there again. I walked the full circuit. No flashlight, just the dim red glow of the emergency lights painting everything in rust-colored shadow. Nothing moved. I scanned the checkpoint and just stood there a moment, listening. Even my breathing sounded too loud. When I stepped back into the elevator and hit the ground floor button, nothing happened. Just that low hum. The door stayed open. I tapped the button again. Harder. Still nothing. Then I looked up. At the far end of the hallway, where the loop starts, I saw it. Silhouette. Motionless. Head low, legs stiff. Its whole body crouched like a loaded spring. No growl, no bark, just silence. Then it came. Full sprint, claws scraping concrete, its form flickering in and out of the shadows like it wasn't quite there. I didn't move. I couldn't. My thumb just hovered over the button. At the last second, the elevator groaned and the door started to close. Slow, like in a dream. I saw the front legs reach forward as the dog lunged. The doors sealed with a snap. Nothing hit them. I didn't breathe until I was outside. I quit that night. Didn't clock out. Didn't say a word. Just walked out of the building, badge still clipped to my shirt, and never went back. The next day, the guys lit up the group chat. "You kissed the dog goodnight before you bailed? Man saw a shadow and rage quit. Don't worry, we'll light a candle for you on the 7th floor." I ignored them. When I finally pulled my uniform out of the laundry bin, I noticed a few stiff black hairs clinging to the sleeve.
didn't make sense. The last time I wore it was in the elevator. 2 days later, a friend from the site called me. "You hear what happened?" he asked. Apparently they evacuated the tower that morning. Gas leak. A pressure valve in one of the old tanks had cracked sometime during the night shift. Some kind of noxious vapor filled the 7th floor. Could have been lethal if someone had walked into it. No one did, because no one checked that floor. The guy assigned to it admitted, quietly later, that he skipped the scan. Just told the supervisor he forgot. Said he'd been weirded out ever since I quit.
The veil draws shut once more, and our guest from beyond fades into the hush of candlelight. You've done well to linger this long, friend. Not everyone has the stomach for such company. But should you ever feel that cold breath on your neck, or hear a whisper that don't belong to the living, just return here to the Séance Society, where the dead speak and the living listen. Like and subscribe to our channel for more ghastly tales. Oh, and don't forget your creepy cocktail recipe. It's buried down in the description.